Having sex with 3 girls a day on average, at least at a minimum. I mean, if I only had sex with 2 girls in a day, that was like we're having some real off day or something, right?
Yeah.
And some days 4, sometimes 5, 7. The most was 9.
How many women have you slept with in your life total?
Thousands. I had this image in my mind when I was growing up of like how awesome this would be. I don't know. What I kind of landed on was I think it's like better to have a monogamous relationship, as strange as that is coming from me.
So there we have it, Dan Bilzerian, the ultimate player, playboy of our generation, lands on the conclusion that I think it's better to have a committed monogamous relationship, which I think is fascinating because so many guys looked up to this guy for so long, like, oh, if I had Dan Bilzerian's life, like that would be so awesome. Like that's the kind of dating life I want. And I just want to share a little bit my own journey because I've gone through different phases and how I looked at women and dating and myself as through the 3 phases. So similar to Dan, I think I was in phase 1 where it's like, I'm the nice guy, I'm not getting girls. And then you're like, wow, how epic would it be just to have like 2 or 3 girls who are just blowing up your phone, want to come hang out with you. They want to go on dates with you. You're having awesome sex. You're just having the best time ever. And almost like when you're a nice guy, I think that's a good goal to aim for. Like no matter what, aim up and aim out of there. Like Jordan Peterson will talk about, no wonder Andrew Tate has such a big following is because if you're a loser and no girls ever paid attention to you, a character like Andrew Tate is going to be very appealing. Like, oh, look at all my bitches, look at all my money. So similar to Dan Bilzerian in some ways, different in others, but it's that same archetype, fast cars, fancy boats, lots of women around. And those are all like candy to the masculine psyche. You know, for a lot of men, it's like, wow, if I had a lot of cash and I had a lot of women that were into me, that would solve a lot of my problems. But I can never say that I've reached the heights that they hit in terms of that journey. But in my own journey from like being a guy who I felt invisible around women, like women never took me as a sexual option, and then kind of learning pickup skills. I didn't get mad rich and famous like they did, but I did learn mad seduction skills. And I did get to the point where I couldn't get any girls to sleeping with a lot of women. Okay. And that was fun. It was a cool journey in and of itself. But I kind of landed where Dan landed in terms of it also had a cap on it. To me, it's like when I was a nice guy, it was like I felt restricted, like this is unfulfilling, something's going wrong here. Then I stepped into like this options, which is what guys want. And I think men should enter relationships from a place of abundance. You don't need to sleep with hundreds of women, but you should have a couple women that are into you, not just the first girl that comes along like, oh, she likes me, I like her, cool, I'm ready to go. You should get to a point in your life where it's like, hey, there's a couple girls that want me. I'm turning down this one. She's not the right fit for me. And bang, this one comes along. She stands out from the rest. I'm ready to keep going with that. So this kind of phase 2, what I call like the fuckboy phase, or even like the pickup artist phase. It's a different type of energy. So phase 1 is the nice guy energy. That's terrible. Don't stay stuck in there. Phase 2 is the fuckboy or the pickup artist, like learning to seduce women, learning to have options. That can be a necessary phase. That can be a necessary piece of the puzzle. But a lot of guys get stuck in that phase 2. I know a lot of guys in the dating coaching scene where it's like they didn't get girls, now they got girls, and it's almost like they can't let go of that almost hedonism. You know, it's like, go out to the club, meet a new girl. Go out to the club, meet a new girl. And that will teach you things about yourself. You're going to learn courage. You're going to learn about how to make an impression on a woman. You're going to learn how to spark attraction in the short term. These are all amazing skills for a man to learn. Why wouldn't you want to know how to learn them? But they also have caps. Phase 2 also has caps. You're not going to be figuring out how to build something with someone, how to start a family, how to be a father. And if those things that interest you, which they do for me, well, phase 2, being the eternal fuckboy, isn't going to suffice for that long. To me, you move on to phase 3, where it's like you want to build a relationship with one woman. Now, some guys are like, yeah, but I got to have a little something on the side. I think people are getting more grown up today where you can make arrangements with inside relationships, but I think guys are more scared and trying to weasel their way out of commitments. That's how I felt personally. I'm speaking from my own personal experience. Like, I want to get married, but if shit turns south, like, I want to get out of there. It's like, I want to be a dad, but I also want these other things. And really, what it was my fear of commitment. What if I do this and it doesn't work out? What if I commit to this woman and she cheats on me? You know, like, what if everything falls apart? But that's a fear, just like a nice guy will have in phase one. What if I go approach a girl and she rejects me? It's kind of like, okay, well, what if that happens? Are you going to die? Maybe, maybe not. But is the fear of what could go wrong going to stop you from taking the next step forward? And for me, the answer was no. It was easy to stay in phase two. I could have just carried on. I was good at it. Go out, meet a new girl, take her home. Awesome. Go out on a date, meet some new girls, date for a couple of weeks, couple months. Okay, done. On to the next one. But that short-term type of dating, it has its limits. It has its restraints. And you will hinder your development as a man if you only stay in phase two for too long. So I can't talk too much about phase three. I'm getting married in a couple months. Hopefully going to be a father, touch wood if everything works out. If I'm blessed enough to have it, and I'm looking forward to that adventure. Sure, it's going to be challenging. Sure, there's going to be tough things that come with being married and being a father, but it's something, a new challenge, a new part of myself I can develop, a new responsibility I can take on. Because in phase two, you become very self-centered. It can be very narcissistic where it's all about me and my freedom. You'll often hear guys say, it's like, yeah, but I don't want to give up my freedom. It's like, what is your freedom really? It's just these narcissistic, hedonistic pleasures. Like, oh, I just want more pleasure, more sex, more time to sit around and watch a movie. Where, yes, you can do that, watch your movies and stuff when you're in a committed relationship. But there's so many aspects. I see so many guys so against relationships, but look at what you're giving up. For a lot of guys, they're giving up fatherhood. Maybe you don't care to be a dad. In that case, ignore this information. But I'm like, wow, I'm think that would be pretty cool, like having a son and hopefully being able to teach him some of the things that I've learned in life. I doubt I'll be perfect, but hopefully I can do a good job at that. Am I going to give that up so I can go to the club and meet another girl and another girl and another girl? To me, that's a childish game to be stuck in playing into your 30s and 40s as a man. These can also go through phases. Maybe you got married in your early 20s for 10 years, 15 years, however long you got kids. Then you got out of that marriage and now you need to be like, hey, I want to be in phase two a bit. I want to go kind of play the field a bit. All good for you. But make sure you're hitting on all three of the phases. Not so much the nice guy. There's really no benefits in that phase. But more like, okay, I'm learning seduction skills, getting good with girls, and what you really can see this is as short-term and long-term attraction. Short-term attraction, I can meet a girl in a grocery store. I can chat to her in a nightclub, spark her attraction. She's interested in me. She wants to come home with me. She wants to date with me. Awesome. Lots of cool lessons and skills you can learn in short-term attraction. Learn those. But then there's also long-term attraction. How to keep things going over a longer term. How to come to win-win agreements with your partner over a year period. How to raise a family, how to be a good father. You're not going to learn any of that in short-term attraction and just being a lone wolf out there for yourself. So yeah, which phase are you in right now? What have been the benefits you found from the phase that you're in? And what is the phase you're going to go into next? I want to hear in the comments below. Let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.